Dajahow, everybody. Well, that was a little redundant. If you know, you know. Uh, I need to give you an update on how things are progressing. If you recall, one of my last videos stated something to the extent that I was chasing 500 followers. And I still am. Don't know what I can give for that, but if you want to go on a wait list and maybe we have access to a free copy of TimeZone. That's up to you. Right now, that's all I can offer. Um, I don't know what else. No one has made any suggestions, so okay, it's left up to me. So, yes, I am currently at 201 followers. Yay! Thank you so much. I'm excited about that. I guess over a week, I got 8 more followers. Now, if that trend continues, obviously by the end of this month, hitting 500 is not going to happen. That said, it is what it is. It'll get to what it'll get to as fast as it gets there. So, nothing much I can do about it. If you are following my account and you have seen some of the other things I've posted, one of the things I've posted is I'm playing around with logo ideas. I put up 5 slides and asked which one catches your eye. So far, votes are in that I have tallied. I've got 5 for slide 1, 2 for slide 2, 1 for slide 3, 2 for slide 4, and 5, and for slide 5, yeah, I have 1. So, and then my hairdresser, when I went to go see her earlier this week, she's like, well, I like the initials, but put the K May on the dark green instead of the lighter green. So I'm going to play with that, see what I can come up with, see, how I like it. But as a reward for everybody who has been interacting with me, I wanted to give you a brief taste of my book. Um, let's see how you like it, okay? The Shadow People are back. These were the words spoken the night before I left for Hong Kong, and would send me willingly to my death. It had been 6 months since the last time they visited my family in Powhatan. At the time, I thought they were words of curiosity. My husband? He tried to warn me. Journal entry. Date unknown. Into the Time Zone, Chapter 1, Part 1. TK sat in her emptiness, looking out over Victoria Harbor. The city's twinkling lights mesmerized her, looking like stars dancing across the dark velvet sky. She sat silently for a few minutes, just watching the cars transit across the intersection. Mindless of thought, she just sat, taking in the moment. Seconds stretched out into minutes before she shook herself out of her soul wanderings, bringing herself back into her awareness. She stood, stretched, and picked up the dishes, carrying them into the kitchen. Having arrived in a different time zone a little more than 24 hours earlier meant she was still adjusting physically. The morning would come early, so it was off to bed for her. Dishes can wait in the sink, she thought to herself, while heading to the cold darkness of her bedroom. So now that I shared my intro and my first paragraph or two of chapter 1, let me share with you an idea that I've got brewing that kind of explains the story a little and might be what I put on the back of my book. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. TK, wife and mother of 2, never imagined having to battle demons for her life. Even the idea of making friends with a dragon and discovering her innate gift of the fire element was nothing short of a fantasy. Traveling to Hong Kong to meet up with online friends and their favorite cinematic action heroes, TK is stolen away, waking up in a 19th century courtyard house in the city's mysterious mountains. TK must learn the ways of the warrior to survive. Renamed Yomu and act to conceal her identity within the camp, she finds her feet are now placed on a new path guided by the camp directors, Wong Fei Hung, Lam Sai Wing, and Liang Fun. At the end, I've got a couple other paragraph, very like one sentence, two sentence paragraph kind of things, but I'm not really sold that that's what I want to use because it talks more about the overall arc of what book one and two, if you read them once two is written, will cover or be comprised of what is really at the core of what's happening. So I'm not really ready to release that just yet, although it's touched on ever minutely in book one. More it's more just laying the foundation for that. All right, so then my final paragraph says Catherine May's first novel, TimeZone, a duology, weaves the ancient to the contemporary, blending fantasy with martial arts, the mystical journey across time and continents, feeding new life into old heroes. All right, what do you think? Let me know. Love to hear back on what I shared with you. And then there's one other issue that, as a self publishing author, um, I've been picking up a lot on, and it's a very serious conversation that I think that needs to be understood. And as someone who is getting ready to release her first book, I am definitely sensitive to the topic, although I'm a hardcore kind of person in that, we didn't do that in the old days. Yeah. Um, so, that being said, it's the topic of trigger warnings. Do you feel they're needed? Do you feel they're necessary? Again, this is something that's personal to each and every person. Like I said, if you read books back in the classics, I mean, Mark Twain had lots of very questionable topics, and never so much as was there a trigger warning, at least not that I recall. That's not saying they're not needed, and I want to give respect to those who might want to skip a page or two in my book. And that's the other thing, is at what level should a trigger warning be put? Like if you're just mentioning, let's say, SA or something like that, or if you're mentioning unaliving, um, or those kinds of things, you don't really describe an event, or you're not like, I mean, one of my characters kind of flashes back about something that she experienced as a child, um, but yet it's not super graphic. I mean, the words do talk about certain things, but there's nothing really graphically grotesque or horrible. So I'm trying to understand, like, would my work need a trigger warning or not? Again, I don't know. And I'd love to have your assistance in entering into this conversation. So thank you. And again, it's my birthday month, trying to make it to 500 followers by the end of March. For those of you who were wondering, I turn 63 tomorrow. I know I don't look it. Yes, I'm using a filter, but I still don't look it. I've been told by lots of people, oh, you look so young. You can't be that old. Yeah, well, I don't know if that's true or not, but have a good March. Have a great evening. And it is the 16th. Tomorrow's the 17th. Yes, I was born on St. Patrick's Day. I am also part of Irish descent, Scottish descent, a little bit of English in there somewhere, and a whole bunch of others. And there is evidence of indigenous as well. So let's enjoy. Have a good one. Love you.